Welcome to World's Finest, the DC Comics review. We got a Trinity, at least for a little bit.
Yeah, we do.
Me, Batman, we got our Superman Tyler, and the Wonder Woman's back.
Hi. I like this, the Trinity. That's cool. It'll be fun because we got to find a good way of grooving all the books, especially after post-Convergence. Everything's going to be a little bit more interesting to discuss, I think.
Definitely, but this week was really good for Convergence. I think they finally found a good mix.
Yeah, let's jump into Convergence issue 6. I liked this book. I had speculated and said before that after I liked issue 1 and issue 0, and then it felt like I was just reading Earth 2. Like I didn't really feel like this was any kind of bigger story. They showed, like it started out, the first page was the New 52 characters, and then it showed other versions doing things, and the story expanded. I do think it's weird that like we build up Telos to be this great villain, and then they kind of are trying to make him now not a villain. And we have this new guy who's like the focal villain. I think it's kind of weird because I'm like, we're 2 issues away from it being over. And I was kind of leaning towards Telos being this big bad. And I mean, they're making him more out to be Brainiac's Silver Surfer.
Are they going to try to redeem him?
Like you think about it, he's kind of like Brainiac's Herald here. And I'm just glad it's not an Earth 2 book. I'm glad they're showing more of what's going on. I'm happy with they're seeing like there's some sort of stakes and the people are going to either fight each other or, merge together. I guess to me, Convergence hasn't been the story that I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be much more grander. I'm more excited for Dark Side Wars than I am for this. But we got 2 more issues to go. But with the way this book was, I give it a 3. I think it swung back from going into the low numbers. What do you guys think?
I kind of like that it wasn't like just a all Earth 2 book this week. We finally got some of the people from the domes, like our pre-New 52 Superman. And
exactly. We got characters that reading to see these timeline characters interact.
I have to give it a 3.5 just because we got more characters.
I can go with that.
Lilith, what do you think?
Wow, I can't believe I'm being like the most positive one. I'm going to give this a 4. And I'm, no offense to Jeff King, I'm going to chalk this up to Scott Lobdell coming back as a co-writer for this issue. I think that has a lot to do with the quality of the story overall.
I'll back you on that one because, I listened to Jeff King talk. He wrote Earth 2, he loves Earth 2, and I feel like that's why the book was going in that direction where it felt like just an Earth 2 book, and that's what was killing it for me. Not that it's bad, but you don't make your flag series so narrow.
Mm-hmm.
And then, with Scott Lobdell coming back, like Lilith said, like, it really chalked up. I mean, I'll take a 4. Like, I'm really happy about this one, considering what it was. So that's kind of where I was thinking, like a 3, 3.5. But 4 sounds good, too.
Well, the art kind of brings it down. Like, I'm not going to lie, because there was a bunch of cooks in the kitchen on this one. Because, as we all know, Convergence has been very rushed. No, like, I like Bendis personally. And, like, but we just had so many other people with the penciling and the inks, and it just showed, and it kind of just took down his sleek line work for me personally.
I can see that.
But the story was just so much better that it's just a 4 for me compared to what we've been reading for the last.
I just think I would have rated it higher, but I think this issue should have been issue like 2 maybe.
This should have been issue 3. Because issue 2 had the best thing about issue 2 was that's where, wasn't it, Bruce and Thomas met, which was cool. But I feel like 4 and 5 are just blah. This issue just redeemed itself. I mean, but we're going to get the end in 2 issues. So, but this is Tyler, your Superman. I have to bounce out of here. I need to go save the Solo Meister. He's teething, and I got to go pick up medicine from the store. So, you guys, I'll be checking the rest of this out. And to all the fans, go read some more comics.
Thank you, sir. What would you like to review next, ma'am?
I think I want to talk about Green Arrow.
Yes.
Like, this one surprised me. I actually liked it. I guess it's because Dina and Olivia from Kingdom Come show up, and if you've been listening, I love Kingdom Come. It's repercussions and consequences for every single character, which is great for me. And so to see this weird Connor and then Olivia, and it just had emotional resonance. I enjoyed this.
It must be good if, a Connor Hawk issue got you to say it was pretty good.
I know, right? I don't know. I think I'm bummed. I think that I was bummed out because of the Arrow finale. And so to see this kind of take on Oliver, it was just like a refreshing change.
The bar was set pretty low then.
Yeah, basically. But no, it's a really good story, though. And I just wasn't expecting it after issue 1. So you didn't read it?
No, I read it.
Oh.
No. I'm just in shock that you said a Connor Hawk issue was decent.
I'm gonna give it to Christy Marks. Did a really good job with the story. I'm gonna give this a 3.5.
3.5.
Rags Morales' simplistic art kind of brought it down for me because I've been kind of spoiled with the new. I will say that's one of the best things about the new 52 Green Arrow is that the artwork is just so phenomenal, and especially the sequential art of it all is just so masterful for me that even with Ben Sikowski and Jake Colburn kind of doing it, they still like doing the story. The art hasn't taken a hit. So
I'll give it a 4. I like like I said, like you said, I like the Kingdom Come characters, and I don't have quite the problem with Connor Hawk that you do.
He's almost as bad as Superboy.
Oh, no, he's not. Speaking of Green Arrow, did you see the preview for when they come back after Convergence?
Yes.
What did you think?
I'm actually excited a little bit.
Yeah, it looks like it has potential. It could be pretty good, but do you think are they going to sweep Felicity and Diggle under the rug, though?
They have to. Like, I'm sorry, and I loved the addition of Diggle. But this Felicity Smoke is too much like the TV show's Felicity Smoke because the TV people were writing it. And it's just like, that's not the Felicity Smoke from the actual comic books. I don't like it. Like, Arrow has tainted a few things, and I'm just not happy.
But that's just the thing I don't like is it seems like whenever someone takes over that book now, in the new 52, they change the supporting cast every arc.
I don't mind that. I mean, I do miss the arc that was happening before Felicity thing happened. I mean, this is just like a bump in the road. I think we're just trying to try it out. Like, hey, because at that particular point, Arrow was actually doing pretty good in the ratings, and it was at an all-time interest level, and even Arrow season 2.5 was doing pretty good. So they're like, hey, let's try this, and apparently people didn't like it. So they're going to try something else, and I'm okay with that.
All right. Speaking of green, did you read, you read them all, Green Lantern Parallax?
This is what I mean by this. Week 6 for Convergence was really good, because I even enjoyed a Green Lantern story. Like, yes, take your job off the floor.
Wow.
It just surprised me with competency, I think, is what this is all just kind of come down to.
Well, I think the second week's a lot better because a lot of the number ones were, all set up, where everyone's been for the past year and what's been going on. And then the drop the domes and we're actually able to get somewhere in the issue 2s.
Yeah, and it was really fast paced too. So I was just like,
well, yeah, you only get 2 issues.
I mean, but the first issues for most of the case just drug on.
Yeah.
But I actually like this one, and I found the artwork to be very nice. I found the story to be entertaining. I wasn't just going, oh God, please die, the whole time.
Yeah, it was. I liked it. I don't know. I don't think I liked that Parallax just like up and disappeared, but
he's a Weasley Wiley one, man.
I know.
Yeah. Where did you rate this one?
I give it a 4.
I gave it a solid 3 because at the end of the day, it's still a Green Lantern title.
All the Green Lantern hate.
And it's not. It doesn't even have anything to do with the movie. I've just never been a fan of this particular kid.
Although I must say, I was collecting Green Lantern and Green Lantern Corps and Green Lantern New Guardians, and when they come back, I'm just getting Green Lantern. I'm not getting that Lost Army.
I want to talk about, if it's okay, Convergent Suicide Squad number 2. Did you happen to read this one?
Did not read that. Enlighten me.
Oh, this one was so good. Like, I actually liked the first title well enough because it's based on Kingdom Come stuff. So. But I hadn't seen Frank Thierry in a while, and Tom Mandrake did wonders with the art, and so I just really enjoyed the cover and just the throwback retro feel of the artwork, and it was just like this gritty, brutal kind of motif running through the book that we were talking about the stakes being so high in Convergence that I just haven't felt with any other title. And I like gritty, obviously. I'm a Batman fan. I like gritty. So it was refreshing for me.
What would you rate it?
And Lex Luthor's in it.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah, being his duplicitous self, definitely. This one is definitely a 3.5 for me.
Do you want to do Superman Man of Steel?
Why not? This one was kind of weird. I felt like I was reading a Marvel title. Do you know what? I don't mean that in a bad way or a good way. It's just very neutral. Like, I just didn't, because it's Gen 13, and Gen 13 never has really felt like it belonged in the DC universe. It's very Marvel, X-Men, like in the beginning back in the 60s, where it's Marvel Girl and, Iceman and all that stuff.
Yeah, well, it was written by Louise Simonson, and she did write some X books, so.
Yeah, exactly. But no, and this was some lady power, because the art was done by June Brigman as well, so, and, well, the cover was by Walter Simonson. It was an interesting cover, but, like, it looked marvelly.
Yeah.
The story was okay.
So what did you rate it?
I'd give it a 3. It's kind of average for me. Like, it's not the worst thing Convergence has done.
Well, you must be on to something, because I was thinking 3 also. Jump to Supergirl Matrix.
Oh, you want to talk about my disappointment of the week?
Oh, yes.
From the moment I saw the cover, I knew I wasn't going to like this one. Like, I was okay with the first issue. But this one was just like, ambush bug?
Too much ambush bug?
It's just weird, and I didn't like it. I didn't like the quote unquote resolution, if you can even call it that, to the end of this book. Just no. How about you?
Yeah, I basically I had more of a problem with this issue than the last, although I had problems with both. It just seems like, I know the author's known for like its humorous takes on stuff, but I don't know, this doesn't seem like a situation where, you'd be really humorous after being trapped for a year. And
okay, but like, can I just read you guys the summary for this? Like, it says, okay, starring heroes from 0 Hour. Supergirl and Ambush Bug fight against, we don't really understand what Keith Giffen is doing here, but we'll trust it'll work out great. This exercise issue includes a sneak peek at what's coming up in the DC universe. What? That's the official little blurb for it.
Yeah, I read that like last week. Even they couldn't summarize it.
I was just like, are you serious? Like, it's not cute. It's not funny. Like I said, I don't know. Like, I'm really protective about the histories of DC. Like, I think, like, even though I have problems with DC, I do enjoy the overall arching history of it all. And that was just kind of just like, really? You can't even try a little harder? And
it just seemed like both issues, they like, beat a dead horse on the jokes. Like the first issue, it was just every page Lex was on, he was just berating Supergirl. It's like, okay, we get it. And then this issue, okay, the spackle joke, we get it.
And it's a shame, like, okay, because Supergirl just got greenlit over at CBS. We know she's getting, it's like she's got a full series order. We've seen the trailer footage, and then this comes out. You know what I mean? Like,
see, they're even most trick Supergirl, but not this 2-part series. No.
Yeah, like, they have treated most of the women in the issues like kind of garbage.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, it's a recurring theme, and it's a little unsettling for me.
Between her and Harley.
Poison Ivy. Oh, yeah, the whole deal.
2.5.
Same. And that's being generous.
Yes. All right, let's forget it. Moving on.
Convergent Superboy number 2. I will say, like, right off the bat, I thought that this was the best cover of the week. Just because...
Yeah.
You get choked out. Let's just...
Like Kingdom Come Superman.
Exactly. So, yeah, like it's Superboy and Kingdom Come Superman. They face off over Metropolis. But then, like, they have to find a way to work together to save both their worlds. And I don't know, like, this was also another really fast-paced kind of issue. And, like, I don't particularly like Superboy in general, but I like this particular Superboy, and I like his interaction with Kingdom Come Superman. It reminds me of Young Justice, Superboy, and Superman's relationship a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I enjoyed that relationship on that show. So.
I mean, Superboy was acting like a brat, but that's kind of the way he acted when he first appeared. Yeah, that in The Return of Superman.
I don't know, I thought the artwork was pretty good, too.
Mm-hmm.
The art was by Carl Moline, and the cover was by Babs Tarr. So, and the writer was Fabian Nicieza, yeah. And like they just kind of came together and did a pretty competent job. Like, it's not the best and it's not the worst. It's very average. I definitely give it a 3, but it was fun, especially compared to the first issue.
I gotta go 3.5. I mean, I think the Kingdom Come characters bumped it up a little for me. Plus, we get the Dick Grayson Red Robin.
I know, like, they should totally bring that back.
Or are they going to do Elseworlds books out of this? Do a Kingdom Come book.
As I've been reading Convergence and they bring in the Kingdom Come characters, I'm like, no, that needs to, like, be a sacred text that we never touch.
Oh, so you wouldn't want to see, like, either a miniseries or an ongoing series with them?
I'd like to see, say like an epilogue to it, like because there's one part, two part, but like there's not the, you know what I mean? Well, it was, but it wasn't. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I like to pretend like that didn't happen because they were just really milking the cow for that one.
That second miniseries that will not be named.
I mean, the first one was good. The first part of it was really good, and then it just really devolved into chaos for me personally. And you could tell they were just doing it for the money.
What? Marvel or DC doing something for the money?
I mean, the original Kingdom Come was very well thought out, very beautifully told, and it took a while to come to fruition. Like they were very picky about it. The second one, that was slapped together like a kid's like a 6-year-old's Mother's Day card the night before, man.
No. What did you think of Convergence Catwoman 2?
Boo!
Oh yeah, Women in Convergence, I forgot. What's that?
Did you like it?
It had its good points. You didn't like Kingdom Come Back?
I don't know. I just didn't believe the altercation between them. Like, it just, nah.
What altercation? It was like, are we gonna fight? No.
Exactly. I'm like, I didn't even know any of these people that were working on this, and I'm just like, really? This is what you're gonna come up for Catwoman? Okay.
Who wants Catwoman? Raise your hand.
Well, that particular Catwoman, I mean, I almost don't blame him, but
what?
I don't know. Like, I just felt like everything was out of character in this whole thing, so I just couldn't enjoy it at all.
My whole problem with Catwoman is like, one writer will make her an anti-hero, and then the next, 2 months later, someone else will make her a straight thief. It's like, make up your mind.
I gave this a 2. Just a straight up 2.
Ooh. I'll go to 3. Alrighty. Let's go to my big disappointment of the week. Batman Shadow of the Bat #2.
Yeah, I could kind of agree with you, honestly.
What was your big problem with it?
It was the Wildstorm universe. Like, I don't feel like that kind of goes hand in hand with what we were dealing. Like some of the other stuff, like actually kind of works out with the team ups of the villains and the heroes and stuff. But Wildstorm just wildly, their universe wildly sticks out and just, I don't know if it's intentional. It just clashes and just doesn't go together.
Yeah. And my whole problem was like, this is like right around 0 Hour. This is right when Bruce Wayne took the mantle back from Azrael, and it's like they're getting along like they're best friends almost. And I'm like, no, they had issues at this point. They had big issues at this point. I think Azrael was still pretty crazy at this point,
You know what my main problem about this was? It was probably the artwork. It felt like I was reading a Japanese manga.
Yeah, I don't know if they rushed this because, Rick Leonardi? I mean, I've read some of his stuff where I've liked his artwork, and yeah, I was thinking before we even started recording, I was looking at this and I was like, yeah, I don't like the art in this.
I don't know. Like, I don't feel any gravitas. Like any Batman or Bat Family issue should have the gravitas because those are the anchor titles, and this just was like out of character again.
It's like they just needed an excuse because every week you have to have a Batman book.
I think you hit the nail on the head right there.
But wait, what did you give Shadow of the Bat? I'm giving it 2.5, and for a Batman book, I mean, every page, the preview, the main story, everything disappointed me. 2.5.
You know what? I actually really agree. I'd actually go 2.25. I mean, that just the art style just really did not work with the story at all. I'm sorry. It just everything about this clashed and was out of character.
So I said every page just annoyed me. So
Aquaman #2, I hated it. Like this is a classic matchup too of Aquaman and Deathblow, but it just felt lacking. It didn't feel like the good titles this week really ramped up the action or wrapped something up or you know what I mean, like felt really like a good resolution. This was just meh from start to finish, just meh.
See, you're always like, well, why don't more people like Aquaman? I think the problem is for every good issue of Aquaman you get 1 or 2 bad issues.
But see, that wasn't true with the New 52, quite honestly. I can think of maybe 6 bad issues out of 30.
Yeah, but most of that was good. But then if you went to the series, the Aquaman series, pre-New 52? I don't know. I've only picked up a few issues of Aquaman here and there. But
it's like every last one was garbage.
There was well, no, the last convention I went to, I picked up some from like the 90s series, some from the series or 2 after that. And
like I said, New 52 was only kind to Aquaman and Green Arrow for the most part. So, like, I make no bones about that. But I don't know. I hate the missing hand Aquaman, like, the most. It's just the worst decision they ever made, and I've just really been disappointed that they chose to use that particular character for Convergence. So, but Deathblow was gonna balance it out, but they just managed to mess it up. I don't know how.
Yeah, but I mean, it's every week's a different time frame, so every one this week had to be around 0 hour.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, this one was a 2 for me.
Oh, for an Aquaman.
Yeah, I mean, how do you mess up a classic confrontation? Like, I just don't understand.
Well, that was my problem with Shadow of the Bat. I'm like, man, Bruce Wayne and Jean Paul Valley should have been in each other's throats, but meanwhile, there was like a buddy cop movie.
Did you, by chance, read Justice League International #2?
No, I did not.
I liked it. This was a surprise. Like, I wasn't expecting to like it, but it's Tech Quarter Martian Manhunter. Like, that's my new little crack ship, quite honestly. And, you know, they're dealing with the Heroes of Kingdom Come universe and stuff like that. So it caught me off guard that I actually liked it. Shazam was in this one. Hawk Girl and all that stuff. So even Red Tornado. So I was just like, yes, we never get enough Red Tornado.
Who wrote it?
Ron Mars. And the art was by Mike Manley, and then the cover was by Paul Renaud. I think this is I know Paul Renaud did the cover for the last Justice League International. I don't know if it's the same. Yeah.
Was there any humor in it? Because I see Justice League International, and sometimes some of those old issues, I'm like, sometimes a little too jokey.
The Tech Quarter Martian Manhunter, it was. But but it was subtle. It wasn't like, say, Avengers Age of Ultron, where it was forced laughs. It was just kind of the subtle, if you got the joke, you got it. If you didn't, they didn't beat a dead horse.
I thought you were going to go back to the Age of Ultron. I was like, and a million fanboys cried out in anger.
Sorry. That humor was forced.
I know. That's what I was going to say. They beat that joke every 20 minutes with that joke.
This was a really good surprise event, and I would actually give it a 3.5. You don't think you got enough Red Tornado in your life, or Hawkwoman, or Shazam, working with a team outside of the Marvel family? This might be the title for you.
Did you read any other Convergence stuff?
I think we actually covered everything except for... No, we did.
Okay. Because I was going to say, the only other thing I had was Arrow Season 2.5, number 8.
Yeah, I've read that a long time ago, because I get them digitally. I don't wait for the floppies. Like, no way.
Yeah, this was the final part of the Brother Blood.
God, they drug that out, didn't they?
That was my problem. They drug it out, and it seems like, doesn't it seem like, I don't know, I want to say the story was kind of small. Like on the TV show, Oliver can, deal with Raws, he can deal with metahumans, but meanwhile, this second-rate Brother Blood was giving them trouble.
I kind of wait for a couple of issues to build up for Arrow and the Flash, quite honestly. So I can just kind of whip through the arcs, because, I mean, they stretch it out on purpose.
That's why I don't know how you can do it digitally, because it seems too short when it's digital. At least with the floppy, as you call it, you get like 3 or 4 chapters in a floppy.
I don't know, because I'm impatient and I got to know what's happening. Because if you wait and you find out, spoiler alert, guys, I'm sorry, about Bronze Tiger dying, and you're like wondering why he isn't in the Suicide Squad episode, and you don't know. You know what I mean? Like there's some stuff that has consequences in the book that, you like they explain about Laurel and her dad over the summer. They introduced the mayor, and I knew that stuff was happening, so I made it a point to be reading it before the show started, and to be ahead of the floppy.
Yeah, and then they had the Huntress in here. This is true what I just heard tonight. Huntress is coming back for season 4.
I did not hear that, but I had my suspicions when they had her and Laurel meet. I hear rumblings about trying a Birds of Prey kind of reboot. So, I can see that. I don't know. I think that it's definitely important, if you like Arrow, to read these titles, because there's lots of information in it, and do it digitally. Just do it digitally. I'm sorry. You'll be so behind by the time the actual issue comes out in hard form that it's not worth it.
But the first Arrow series was just so good, and this one, it just seems like they're dragging it out.
So good. Nobody read it, and everybody's reading 2.5, which just pisses me off.
Yeah, the first one was more creative, it seemed like.
Oh, there is something I want to plug for next week that you have to read, and it's the Sensation Comics featuring Wonder Woman.
Okay.
Heard nothing but good things about it, and I've seen some of the preview art for it. If you're a Wonder Woman fan, you absolutely have to pick this up, and when you do, please send some stuff to Phil for him to read.
All right, everyone. Send us your thoughts, and like Lilith, if you want to recommend anything that we should be reviewing, well, you can get a hold of me, nightwingpdp@gmail.com. On Twitter, I am at nightwingpdp. Go like our Facebook page, facebook.com/world's finest podcast. And where can everyone find you, lovely Miss Lilith?
You can find me on Twitter at Lilith Hellfire. You can find me on Tumblr, lilithfairyhellfire.tumblr.com. My ass box is open. Anonymous is on. Feel free to use it, but do not abuse it. You can go to my blog, littlepopculturevulture.blogspot.com, a place for pop culture junkies and comic book geeks alike. And if you like me here, then you love me with Kelly on both the Flashpoint and Queen Consolidated, which are the Flash and Arrow, other Flash and Arrow podcasts, respectively, on the Southgate Media Group Network. And also Channel 52, which is just general chit-chat about DC. And next season, I'm going to be so busy because we have so many new